Hello everyone, it's me Tracy. Welcome to So Supportive, or welcome back. I have a fun show for you today. First up, I'm going to show you a little bit of a QuiltCon haul, show you what I got, and talk a little bit about the class that I took. After that, I am going to show you some really fun new Lorie Holt products that I got. And then finally, I've got a little bit of news about a live that is happening this weekend. Please note that any of the designers or quilters that I mention, if they've got a page, I'm going to link it below in the description so that you can go check out their page or their channel. And so stay tuned. All right, so I just want to do a really quick recap of QuiltCon. I actually got to go for 2 days, and I was lucky enough to take one full day class. I took a free motion quilting class with Christina Cameli, and it was called Subdivisions, and it was brilliant. I will be happy to show you my samples from that. But before I do that, I want to show you a few of the things that I got and just some of the cute stickers I got. I didn't buy too much, honestly, but I did get a couple of gifts. So I'll start with the gifts. So my dear friend, Michelle Freedman, actually presented this to me when I got there. And she said it was my best in show ribbon. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I put it on my bag and I wore it the entire time I was there, but doesn't that look fabulous? I might have to put it on my quilt back here. And she said that I won best in show, so I'm gonna go with it, even though I didn't have a quilt in the show. I also got one of Michelle's stickers, which is probably one of my favorite things in the world. I just love it. You can follow Michelle on Instagram at Stitch Well and Prosper. How do you do it? And I think she sells her stickers, but she also gives them out if you happen to run into her and you know who she is. So there you go. Another thing that Michelle did, which I'm still in shock over, she made this quilt top the week before QuiltCon and she gave it to me. It's the Heart Pop quilt. However, she made a miniature version. This one is 28 by 28. So the squares are 2.5 inches and 2 inches finished. And I just can't even believe that she made this so quickly and then gave it to me. And she also gave me some selvages, which I didn't even know that she knew that I collected them. So I was super excited about all of those things. And let's see. I stopped at the Stitch Supply Company and I got some Ruby Star Society webbing. Totally adorable, very quilty. And I was completely overwhelmed by their selection of webbing. This is super soft. I don't know if you can even see the texture, but it's not particularly bumpy or hard or anything like that. It's super soft. It's almost like car seat belts, and just really pretty. I couldn't decide what kind I wanted. I actually have a pattern right here. I have this pattern that I bought last year at QuiltCon that was on my list, and I think one of my projects that I have in time out in my UFO binder might become that duffel. And so that's my plan, but I couldn't remember all of the colors. So I also have a couple of like crossbody, kind of like the fanny packs that people are wearing across their bag, and a water bottle holder, and I thought one of those could work for this. Originally, I was thinking it would be fun to make a bag, like a crossbody bag for concerts, but a lot of the concert venues are requiring clear bags, and I don't want to sell a clear bag. So moving on. I got to see Miriam at Janome and got a cute little heart tin that has some Madeira thread in it. It's got a gray, a white, and a black thread in this cute little tin. I might use this tin for maybe my little wonder clips or something. Not quite sure yet. And then I also got to see Catherine Redford, who I've known for a really long time. We used to live in the same town, and she was kind enough to gift me a copy of her latest book, which is called Modern Machine Quilting, Finish Your Quilts Creatively on Your Home Machine, revised and expanded. It's the 2nd edition, and her quilting is really spectacular, honestly. If you have a chance to either take a class with her or get one of her books, I really highly recommend it. She's been a bestseller for many years, and there's definitely a reason why. And she was kind enough to sign this for me, so it will now go in my library, and that's really wonderful. And let's see, I got some stickers. Verushcka Zerate, who is known for her paper piecing, actually made a quilt to raffle, and it's really quite beautiful. And so she had stickers made of that quilt. And then I got to see Julius Handmade. And if you don't know Julius Handmade, he does paper piecing patterns, and he has a gorgeous one that's wings. Actually, they're 2, and also a Buddha. The Buddha, I think, might break me into doing paper piecing. So I try not to look at the website too frequently. So there's that. And then I'd like to give a shout out to one of my viewers who stopped me, and then she and her friend, they're from Minnesota, and she gave me one of the Minnesota Loon stickers. So I was very happy about that. And all right, and then I'll show you, I have some merch that I got. I actually got a t-shirt from Pammy Jane and a t-shirt that came in the merch. I'll just show you the bag for now, but I'm going to show you the t-shirts a little bit later. This was the bag. Let me do the handle out of the way. This was the bag this year, and it was designed by Ruby Star Society. And I just love it. It's like a tool bag. It's got big pockets on the side, and I am planning to use this like crazy. So I'm very excited about that. Sorry about the air turning on. It's pretty warm today, and we need the air, so I apologize if it's loud. Hopefully it's not too loud. And besides, I'm almost done, so just another minute. I got a little enamel pin as well. The t-shirt matches this, but it's green and it says Raleigh QuiltCon. And I got a shirt from Pammy Jane as well, who is one of the fabric designers for Dear Stella. And so, okay, so I'm gonna show you a couple of the samples from my class that I took. Now, subdivisions was about dividing designs. We started out by using a grid and practicing some designs. And the key takeaway that I took that I want to pass on to you is that if you are concerned about the way your quilting looks and you're not happy with it, just keep adding more to it, around it, because it looks better the more you add. If it's by itself, it stands out. But if it's really busy, no one's going to notice. And my samples 100% show that, because I really struggled. We were doing 1.5 inch grids, which was a little bit smaller than I'm used to. And we were all on the classroom machines, which were a little bit tricky to use as well. And some people were struggling a bit with their machines. And I know I was a little bit too, just getting the hang of it. And so as the day went on, my quilting got better, but in the morning, it was bad. It was bad. These were my morning samples. And if you say they look great, then just know that that's because I added stuff next to it. We started out with the pebbles, and then we moved to this orange peel design, and then we did a slightly different design with the same kind of shape. And we did some swirls, and then we did some leaves, and then I'm going to show, well, I'll show you the rest. At the end of the day, we did a little free form, and then I went back to the grid, and I started mixing matching designs within the grid, and this is what I came up with. And Christina actually really loved it and took a picture of it, which I was really honored that she took a picture of what I was doing, especially because I was feeling like I wasn't doing that great. Next, I am going to show this one, I think. So we were doing a kind of a graffiti thing where you started a motif and then added around it and then added different elements. And this is what I did. A little bit wrinkly because it's been folded in my bag, But one of the things that I'm really comfortable doing is swirls, and I was trying to add sort of clamshells around it, and my lines got wonky, and I decided to turn it into a rose, and then just added leaves around it, and then I started playing a little bit with swirly feathers, and let's see, some hearts over here, hearts and loops, and just playing with different designs. But she was really happy with my rose improv, and I was too, because I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna let go. It's just a piece of fabric, and I'm just practicing. And then finally, this was another little thing. My neighbor was working from the corner of her design, and I thought I would do that. And so, yeah, so it was loads of fun. I still haven't set up my machine to play with free motion, but I've got an extra sandwich that I still have left over from the class. So I'm planning to play a little bit with that and just get a little more experience on my own machine now that I've got a few more tops done. And I will come back and I'll show you those t-shirts. And I wanted to just say that really QuiltCon was completely fun. It was nice to go to an event and see so many people I knew and friends, and get to spend a little bit of time just away from work, away from home, where I didn't have anything to do but to have fun. And I just had to say that if you have the opportunity to do something like that, really take the opportunity. Even if it's just a local show and you can get away for a few hours, it really rejuvenates you. So there you go. The sun has peeked around the corner, and so I'm going to carefully try to show you the t-shirts that I got. So the first one is the one from Cami Jane. And I couldn't resist. I saw the two cats on the bottom and I thought, oh, I'll have to have that. And too bad it doesn't have 4 cats, because that's how many I've got. And then I realized that there were, more up in the flowers. So there you go. The next shirt is actually my QuiltCon shirt, which I also thought was quite adorable and a fun remembrance of 2026 QuiltCon. So there you go. Those were all my goodies that I got at QuiltCon. I highly recommend, if it comes to an area near you, or if you can afford to travel to go to the show, that you take advantage of it sometime. It is a fun show. It has wonderful energy, and it is always lovely to see people's quilts in person and enjoy them. Just remember that oftentimes the quilt makers are standing near the quilts. So try and say nice things, even if you don't think nice things. Okay, so that's it for my haul from QuiltCon and my suggestion for going. Next year it will be in Atlanta. So I likely will be there again, since that's not too far from here, but hope to see you there sometime. Quick update on a few of the things that I've been working on. So now that I finished the Heart Pop quilt, Michelle gave me the small Heart Pop quilt, and I finished the Skylight quilt top. I now have to add 3 new items to my UFO binder. So those quilts just need quilting, and I'm feeling pretty confident about those. I want to give a shout out to Debby Brown of Debby Brown Quilts, who made the Heart Pop quilt. She did her version in purple, and then she quilted it and made a tutorial for all of you. I will link that below. And when I saw what she was using, I was really intrigued, so I actually purchased a few templates from her. I bought different ones than the ones she shows you that she was using, just based on what I know the quilts that I have coming up are, but I'm super excited. So she had one that was similar to this, where it's got a line through the center, and these stencils are to be used with your pounce pads so that you use the powder, you rub it across here and it just lets the powder through the small channels. And this one is a flower and leaf quilt design, and you can do all sorts of things with it. Those are some options. And I thought that was really cool. Debbie's favorite quilting motif is ribbon candy, and I just don't have the design down. And so I actually bought this one, which is all ribbon candy, and I'm super excited because I think I'm going to use this one in the Heart Pop quilt, the large one. Actually, I could use it in both because this one is probably small enough for the smaller one, but I'm super excited. And on her YouTube channel, she's actually done some variations with ribbon candy where she's added loops here. You can add like a little pebble at the bottom and make a little design. And that was just one of the ways I saw her use this. And I thought that was super cool. And so I'm determined to learn how to do ribbon candy. And then the next two actually go together. So I'll actually start with one. This one that has two different swirl designs. And I didn't realize until I got it home that you can actually do all kinds of feathers off of it. And I thought that was really neat, but this also is corners that you can add, so you can combine these two together and do borders or things like that. So I was super excited about that design. Like I said, I will link her channel below and the link to the Heart Pop quilt design. And if you are a part of the Village Quilt Sew Along, Debbie's actually a member there, and a few other of my friends, and a whole bunch of you. The Thursday morning group that was meeting once a month is now meeting weekly by popular demand. So if you are free on Thursday morning, we go live at 10 Eastern and go for about an hour depending upon the day. And it has been so much fun to just sew and chat. Some people just work on their houses for their village quilt. Other people work on block of the months that they're working on. And some people are just at work with the volume turned down so that they can listen to the conversation. Just saying, don't say anything about it though, okay? But it's been loads and loads of fun. So if you're ever free, you can join us, or you can just watch the replay, and that's super fun too. One of the things that I recently was learning about ADHD is that sometimes you need either a co-working situation or a person to body double you, mirror you, so that you stay on task. And I'm hoping that this group can be that for some people. For me, that is a dedicated time where I'm having fun with all of you, but it's also the only time that I'm working on my village quilt. And so that's what's nice about that, is it sort of forces me to work on that. And it's a project that I completely enjoy, that brings me so much happiness. And so it's just a highlight of my week. So I hope that you will join us. Okay, I got some happy mail again, and I got a package from It's So Emma. And I wanted to show you what I got. And it's an entire package of Lorie Holt things that are coming out now. So the first thing that I wanted to show were the canning jars floss drops. And these are so cute. So they're for your embroidery floss, and they look like little canning jars. Aren't they adorable? They come in a package that looks like this. And I thought it was really, really adorable. And then I also have two really pretty patterns. Oh, and let's see, the canning jar floss drops retail for $12.98 for a package. And you get, let's see, I don't know how many you get. A bunch. It's a really big stack. This many. You get a bunch. So it looks like probably, I would guess 25. Let me see if I can find the number on the package. 24. I went over, so I don't think I win, but that's those. All right, so the first quilt, if you showed this to me, I'm not sure I would think Lorie Holt right away, but it's super pretty. It's just not usual in her usual color palette, but it's called Birdsong. And it makes a 74.5 by 98.5 inch quilt. And let's see if I can get it. There we go. Isn't that pretty? It's really pretty. Really, really pretty. But this next one is my favorite. It's called Simply Sweet. And these flowers remind me of the quilt seeds. I don't know if those are based on those or what. And these are, I counted what, 7 by 13, I think. So I think it was like a 91 patch or something like that. And it makes an 82.5 by 90.5 quilt. And there's also a pillow design right here. That's 20.5 by 37.5. I love those so much. All right, so that's what I got this time. And I can't wait to show you again next time what I got. Quick bit of news. On Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern, I will be going live with Danelle's Stitchery, and I am so looking forward to it. She and I are part of a Back to Basics sew along on YouTube, so we'll be talking about that for sure, and you'll be seeing some content from me next April about that sew along, and we'll just be getting to know each other a little better. If you have been to any of the lives, you'll know that she has participated in a few of those, so you may have been chatting with her. So I am looking forward to that. I will see you all on Sunday. I hope that you'll all join us over there.